Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Boozy Botanical podcast. My name is Holly.
And I'm Angelique.
And welcome back. How's everyone doing? How are you, Angelique?
I am well. I just got out of a therapy session. So that's my little update for the week. So I was like, therapy 1 minute, boozy the next. I don't know if
they go hand in hand.
I don't know if my therapist would approve of me downing White Claw immediately after our session. But I mean, it's a business. So I'll be like, this is part of my job, lady. So
lady.
Ma'am. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Gosh, good.
Before we get into, because I'm going to talk about that today, but really quick, Holly, what are you drinking? And how are you?
I'm good. I am tired today, so I am actually drinking coffee. Don't come at me. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I was going to lie and say that I put Bailey's in it. I didn't even do that. It is just straight up coffee.
But I think we all appreciate your honesty.
Right. I hope so. Although, you know, I have always wanted to try Bailey's, like within the last few years, came out with like an almond milk version because like I'm a lactard, so I can't have, I call myself that. I can't have like milk, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. So maybe one day, maybe next episode I'll try.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just having straight up iced coffee. What are you drinking?
I am drinking, I don't think I've tried this one before, but the black cherry White Claw.
Ooh,
it's not, but I like it so far, and I'm not a fan of seltzer, so this is pretty good. But it's pretty good. I know it's not the fancy schmancies that I have been promising everybody, but this is episode 3 in 1 week, so it was only so much a girl can do.
But we did a fancier one the other day, so you know you're off the hook for today.
I garnished with an extra large watermelon slice, so that's how you know it's real.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's
garnished. It's pretty fancy.
Exactly. It's pretty good. So I mean, I'm owning it. It's great.
Yes.
So Holly, how's your week been?
My week's been good. Doing lots of, I've been doing lots of fun things, but the main thing that I've been doing is working out. And I don't want to call it a diet because we don't like diets around here. It's
a lifestyle choice. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I like to call it too. I'm like, diet, I think is like a bad word, you know?
I know. And it's like, I think, growing up, like being a millennial, growing up from the era of like skinny bodies was like the beauty standard. It's like, let's get rid of that. But I'm all about feeling good. I want to feel my best. I want to have energy. So I've been working out a lot with my friend Jen. She's literally a trainer. So she's been training me. Yes. So it's been really fun. And then, funny enough, we're going to Mexico in like November. So I'm kind of doing like this long sort of not diet, which is nothing too crazy. It's really just like healthy food, no sugar, and then just cutting out carbs at night. So far so good.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Are you going to Mexico for the YouTube channel?
For the YouTube channel, yeah.
Fun. Very
cool. So excited, dude. And I've never been to Mexico. Everyone in my family's been. I've just never been. So
you haven't even to like Nogales, like the border?
No. Isn't that crazy? I've seen the border, like El Paso, Nogales, and all that. But
yeah.
No, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's been like good motivation. Like I want to eat from Mexico.
I totally get that. Do you know where in Mexico you're going?
It's near Cabo, so I need to
cool.
But yeah,
Cabo's beautiful. I went like 2 or 3 years ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's really nice. We went horseback riding on the beach.
Oh my God, stop it.
Yes. Oh my God, it was so much fun.
That's just so romantic. Did you and Josh go?
No, I wish. He was working. I was still an assistant at the time. So for me, he's like, with my boss at the time, I could just be like, hey, I need to take X amount of days off, but I'll be on my phone if you need me, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but with Josh, he was working an office job for production, and it was just not as easy to get the time
Right.
off. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
That's
I'm so
cool.
excited for you.
Yeah.
Do you have like
So
a reward goal kind of in the distance?
mhm. Yep.
That's really
How are
cool.
you? How's your week going?
It's going well. As I mentioned, I just got out of, I call it therapy, but my life coaching session.
There you go.
I feel like that sounds more LA, you know?
Yes. Well, people have therapists and life coaches, so it's goes hand in hand,
Same.
really.
Yeah. Well, my life coach, if you will, she's amazing. I had never done therapy before. And then I think it was in March, I signed up for BetterHelp. And she was the therapist that I was assigned to on BetterHelp. But then she decided to leave the platform a few weeks ago. So
Got
ever
it.
since, and thankfully, BetterHelp gave me a refund for
Oh
all
my
the,
god,
because
that's
they
great.
charge, yeah, because they charge you at the top of the month. And I like missed her message about leave because like yeah, she was trying to coordinate me leaving or like knowing that she was leaving and then I could make my decision.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out with timing. So they billed me for June.
Mm,
And ideally for her, we wouldn't be working on that platform again so
got
that
it.
she could work on like her platform.
Yep.
So they gave me a refund, which was awesome. I thought that was really cool of them. I just told them I didn't need help anymore. So but I moved on with her and she runs a life coaching business. So
That's
it's essentially
amazing.
therapy. Like it's everything that I was getting on BetterHelp. Like she will talk to me about anything I want to talk about and help me with any goals I like have in life or things I want to be better at or XYZ. But yeah, it's considered technically life coaching, but
That's
whatever.
really
Same thing to me.
awesome. It's so nice to
Yeah.
to have to like retell your life story to a new therapist. Like,
That's what I
when
wanted to avoid.
yeah, that's
Y Yeah,
awesome.
I was like, because I feel like the first month of therapy, maybe like the first 2 weeks, if you're on top of it, is like letting them know who you are so they can figure out what you
Mhm.
need. So it's like
They're getting to know you and everything.
right, so it's kind of like that learning curve, which isn't a waste of money by any means, but it's like I feel like you're not getting necessarily as much of like the advice or whatever because they're just trying to figure you out, and which I totally understand, but it's like I don't wanna figure it out
Yeah.
with someone else all over again because it's not like I'm not getting any money back, you know? So
Right.
I
Yeah.
I wanted to like have spent that money with her and then just stick with it because I really like her. Like obviously if we weren't meshing, that would be a different conversation. But
Yeah.
no, she's like really nice and she's really
Oh,
cool. And
that's so
she
good.
sends me like little graphics, like the ones that we make for Boozy, but they'll say like things that you can't control. Things that you
Oh
can
my gosh, that
control.
is
So like
really fun.
yeah, so she's really cool, and today we were similar to what you were talking about, it's like making lifestyle changes in terms of, eating and health, and she's all about, like, I don't have to cut anything, she just wants me to create new patterns sort of thing, so
Uh-huh.
the first challenge I have so therapy was today, so I'll have another one next Wednesday, um, I just have to drink I think it's 8 ounces of water immediately when I get up, 8 ounces at lunch, 8 ounces at dinner, and then have 4 ounces, so like a healthy shot or 2, if you will, of water every
Right.
hour. So just like a tiny bit
Nice.
to like kickstart my body and kind of like flush things out. So that's just my first challenge. She's like, "Don't change anything. Don't change anything with
That
your
is
food."
so
She's like,
cool.
"Just
I
add some
love that.
water."
It's such
Yeah.
a tangible, like, shift, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, it's not
and
jarring.
oh, that's so cool. I wish my old therapist gave me, like, very, specific, steps, like, it sounds like how yours
Right.
is doing. That is so good. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I think it's way less daunting and it's not aggressive, if that makes sense. So she's just
Yeah.
like, "You know what?" She's like, "I don't wanna make you change your entire life right now, like, that's crazy." She's like, "Just do this." She's like, "This is attainable. Just set an alarm on your phone and just have these little bits." She wants me to drink alkaline water for this week, but I've heard pros and cons. Um,
Oh,
Josh
really?
Josh was like, "Yeah, I think it's a hoax." And so now I'm like, "Oh no, like, do I ask her if it's a hoax? Because she believes in it
You
because, like, she
can. You can
I don't
ask, I'm sure. Like, I remember I had a question one time with my therapist because she was like, "You should do cardio more when you're feeling anxious." I'm like, "But doesn't that like, your heart rate
your
being up?"
heart rate goes up.
Yeah, so she asked her friend who is a doctor, And so that was like pretty helpful. And basically, no, I guess it just helps you.
Right. Maybe it gets you focused on something else.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you can't like question or just clarify. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's really
I
cool.
wanna talk to her because like I think Josh, she was telling me that he did research on it because he wanted to start taking it. He had like heard it was really beneficial, but he was saying something how like we have a natural pH balance in our stomachs,
Uh-huh.
and he said something about how our bodies, I don't know which organ, I don't remember what he said, Nat said he's down using acid or something. I'm anyone listening, I might be butchering this. So if you are a professional, let me know. But like our body naturally breaks down anything that goes into our body and like levels it out. So he feels like spending money on alkaline water is a hoax because your body's going to naturally break it down to whatever neutral it is. So
Right.
I'm
If your body's already doing that, like if you're kind of struggling with keeping your body alkaline, like that's why sometimes they
that's what
sell.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've heard good and neutral. I haven't heard bad things of alkaline water. So
Same. I hadn't heard bad. It was more just
not
like
intended.
you know what I mean? It was more just like I've heard just like, yeah, like it exists. That's like the neutral. And I've heard some
Yeah.
people swear by it. So I don't know. She told me, she's like, I don't want you to do alkaline permanently. She's like, I just think for this week, try alkaline water. So I'm
That's
like,
cool.
we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Like it can't be the worst, but he told me he feels like
Right.
it's a scam. So we'll
And maybe it
see.
is. But also placebo works. Placebo
Right.
food is
Oh,
insane. So
exactly. And that was the other thing he told me because she said, get a water that is a 9.0 pH or above. And
Mhm.
he said that most tap waters in the US are naturally at a 7.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
already very high alkaline, and we filter our tap water. So I assume it's at 7-ish. So
Yeah,
it's not, obviously, it's not going to kill me if I try alkaline for a week.
for
So
sure.
I think I might accommodate just to like see, and I'll ask her, like, was this worth it? Sort of thing. Because
Yeah.
she drinks life water, but I don't
I
know.
like
We'll see.
water.
Yeah,
I
but
say find a bottled water that you like and that you think actually tastes good, you know?
I've always liked Fiji, Evian, all the bougie
Fiji's
ones.
good.
I didn't care, like, I was, like, indifferent, and then Josh became a water connoisseur. We on SIGF, we used to give him a really hard time, like, Mariah would tease him about being a water snob. He's like, I mean, it's different now, like, because he definitely went through a phase, like, there was probably, like, a year in our relationship where he was just, like, every day we'd have to stop at 7-Eleven and get, like, 5 Fijis or whatever. It's
Oh
like,
my
well, I
god,
think we
it's
would
so
the more
funny.
cost
That's how
Morse
my
custard was
mom
like
is.
valves. Yes. I was I think it tastes good. And then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm becoming a water snob," because one day I had never really noticed the difference in waters. I had to like, because if you go to McDonald's or you go to
Right.
any like Subway, everyone has contracts with Dasani. So
Yeah.
whenever, if I'm gonna go get a McDonald's, I'm like, I'm not gonna get crazy. I'll have a water bottle. So so I'll get a water bottle, and I was like, "Oh, it does taste different. Weird."
Does, dude, and, like, Arrowhead is trash. I'm so
That's what
sorry.
everyone tells
I
me.
just think it tastes so bad. Like, I remember in the '90s, you remember those weird, like, jugs where you, like, pull out the little handle and the water comes out? Basically
Yeah.
what we had in Eagle Rock because we didn't have filtered water,
Oh,
but,
right.
like, I always had that we always had that growing up, but I think it tastes really bad, dude.
Really? Yeah, I think Josh is not a fan either. We still drink really good water. We're not getting Fiji all the time, but I think
Yeah.
since we got our filtration system, I'm just like, let's cut on the plastic if we can, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, Arrowhead just has no place here, apparently.
It's
I
not
like
boozy approved water.
Yes, I like, Crystal Geyser.
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
I feel like Crystal Geyser doesn't get enough credit, but, like, it's there, it's happy to help, you know?
I
I
actually
like
use
spring waters.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I used to love going to Whole Foods and trying all the different bougie, water bottles. What was that one? It was, like, in a glass, vessel.
Oh, Voss.
Voss, yes.
Everyone uses it when they make detox water for their photos because it looks amazing.
It does look really cute, and they would just have some random brands, that were it was really fun to try, so
That's what she told me to do. She's like, "If
we
you got
can
a
do
Whole Foods
that.
nearby, go to Whole Foods." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh yeah.
I have a Sprouts nearby. Whole Foods is across Burbank, and in LA terms, that's too far.
No, well, dude, it's closer than it is to me because I have to drive an hour if I want to go to Whole Foods.
That's
So, yeah.
crazy. Do you guys often go far for like Trader Joe's and stuff, or have you guys just been sticking to something closer?
We do, like, we've had the plan in mind that we're going to go once a month or
Oh,
maybe
cool.
once every 2 weeks. But lately, we've just been going to what's close to us, which is still good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love Trader Joe's and I love Whole Foods. So I definitely, I'm still a stan. I'll continue to go.
It's your home.
It's just familiar. Well, because it's so funny. Like, not to go on a tangent, but with Trader Joe's, like the way their frozen food is, they just have so many good options. I almost
Yes.
don't know how to shop anywhere else. I'm like, I'm so lost. What do I do without my pre-made rice and my chicken?
Yeah.
First world problems, you know?
We still have a few of the things that you gave us from your freezer from when you moved. It's all Trader Joe's. But it's all so yummy. I'm like, this is so nice because we don't go to Trader Joe's often. So when I get to like I got a little Holly sampler of what I should buy from Trader Joe's.
Yes, I remember I got you guys, you guys got some good stuff.
Hell yeah, we did. We've been having a ball. So, Holly, who is our plant mommy of the week this week? I'm
Oh my
so
gosh.
excited.
You guys, I am very excited about this plant mommy. So it is none other than Carolina from @CarolLet'sGrow. And she is so cute. I'm pulling up her page right now.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's gorgeous, but you go ahead.
I'm just so excited because I didn't know about Carolina, whatever she wants. I don't know. I've never met you before, but I'm so excited because I didn't know about her, and she's a fellow Brazilian. So I got so excited when you told me that.
Her accent
Oh my
is
gosh.
gorgeous, and
Sure, it's the cutest thing, and she has a cat.
yeah, she has 2 cats, Lily and Basil, and one of them is a tuxedo. So we're both tuxedo moms.
That's Basil. Basil's a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It's
okay. I know we're in interrupting mode.
we're getting too excited.
Please.
It's all Carolina's fault.
How do you do this to us?
But no, I was going to mention she also has a second account called, so her first one is Carol Let's Grow. And then for her pottery, it's called Carol Let's Throw, which is so cute.
Stop it.
I know. So she's very talented. She makes pots, she makes vessels and just like really cute stuff. And she has such an eye for like bright, fun patterns. So she is just super talented. She has beautiful plants, beautiful green hair. And
her hair is awesome.
You need to follow her.
She's also in the Bay Area, just like last week's plant mommy. So get
Bay
connected,
Area,
people.
I know. It's true.
Yeah, she just has a really cool account. Oh my God, look at her linearis, like her Hoya. Oh,
yeah, I know.
I'm just so excited to Instagram meet you, Carolina, because I'm just like, oh, my people. I'm like, oi, tudo bem?
Exactly.
It's so exciting for me. I can't wait now to get to know you if you're listening.
Yes, you should also do a plant trade with her. We traded a lot over quarantine. So that's
oh my gosh, what are some of the things you got? And she's not far from me.
Right? Exactly. So we've traded like Hoyas. I think maybe I may have traded a pink princess with her. But
wow.
Yeah, she's just so sweet. Oh, that's what it was. It was a Anthurium clarinervium. So
how cool. You didn't have one before, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's amazing.
She's just so much fun. So you guys definitely need to follow her. Her account again is Carol Let's Grow, and you're gonna love her. I know you will.
She's really cool. Oh, I'm so happy. This was such a fun one.
It totally was.
So, Holly, I'm excited for this topic today.
Me too. I think it's going to be a good one. So today we're talking about none other than drought-tolerant plants. Woo woo!
Yay!
And don't worry, we're not just going to say succulents because even though we love succulents, we know there's more than just that. And we're talking houseplants. So don't you worry, we got you.
Yes. And I'm actually really excited because we were talking about topics and it's like, what should we talk about this week? And I was looking around and there's a few plants in my house that I'm like, I don't know how you're alive, but they just seem to not turn yellow. So I'm like, I guess you're alive and they're listed in here today. So I'm really excited to talk about them.
Also, some of these plants that are listed, like my mom doesn't even kill them. I love you, mom, if you're listening, but she'll tell you too. She's like, I can't keep them alive, but the ZZ and the Raven, So you guys, yeah. So you guys will really love it. But I guess we'll just start with our first plant, which is the snake plant. I love snake plants, you guys, aka Sansevieria, aka fucking Dracaena. Excuse me.
Dracaenas are snake plants?
Apparently in 2021 they are. Or I think it was last year they got reclassified. So I guess Sansevieria is not a thing anymore and they're considered
I read about this.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like I'll go with it. It's actually, oh my gosh, it's so funny because Danae and Bill from the owners of Folia Collective, they actually started a hashtag. It was, maybe this was a few years ago, but they started a hashtag called notmygenus. I'm like, oh, I feel that so much.
That is so funny.
They're like, no, right? Because area for life. It's not Dracaena.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's annoying to switch that. And also, when I see Dracaena, I think of like the
corn plant.
It's a tree.
Yes. Or, it's like they're very beautiful plants, but they're just not the same.
They're Dracaenas. Like you can't compare it to like a moonshine plant, like a whale plant. That's so weird. Well, for the sake of our conversation, it's a Sansevieria. If you go online too, that's what it says.
It does. But, like one of the reasons that snake plants are on this list is, I'm sure you guys know, it's very easy. It always pops up on the Pinterest list of top 10 easiest plants or plants that can survive with zero light, which is not true, by the way, but we'll get into that later.
Yes.
But one thing that is really cool about Sansevieria, that's right, Sansevieria,
not my genus,
not my genus, is that they really do hold on to moisture well. And sometimes it can be confusing because their roots are not the juiciest. They're kind of, I don't want to say brittle, but they're definitely like almost woody,
Yes, yes. And which makes me think that they're rotted sometimes, like dried out.
That's true. You would think that they want a little bit more water, and it is true. They probably want to go the most once a month. You don't really want to push it. Right. But essentially, I think it's their leaves that really hold on to the moisture and the water retention and all that. So that's one reason that I love it. Of course, you have like your basics, like you have it's called like the Laurentii or something. It's just like your basic mother-in-law's tongue from the 70s.
Oh, yeah. Another canceled one.
With the yellow stripe. And then you have the plain green one. But one of my favorite varieties is actually, it's called the Sansevieria Whitney. You've seen that one, right, Angelique?
Ooh, I know the name. I'm just trying to ring the bell. Which one is that one again?
So it looks similar to like your basic snake plant, except it does have like a big stripe in the middle.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm going to pull up a photo right now to show you because I think it is so pretty. And it just looks very unique. Like I remember when I first saw it.
Oh, I love, you have one.
I do,
yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I bought it from, this is so crazy, the flower market in DTLA for like $9.
Oh, that's so offensive. So offensive.
I know. But it's just like so pretty. Like it looks, and this particular variety, I've noticed the leaves grow very wide. and not narrow like how a lot of snake plants do. So it's almost like a fusion of like the whale fin and the normal standard one. So
Yes.
I love that one.
I have a favorite that I want to share with you that I brought for show and tell.
Let's see it.
It's the Sansevieria cylindrica. My
Oh,
angel,
it's like a starfish.
my angel baby. So this is her from the back. But look, I'm gonna turn her around for the big reveal. Look what we got here.
A baby.
A little pup.
How cute.
I'm so excited. In terms of aesthetic, I didn't want any babies. Just for the sake of like, I think this is like, honestly, guys, anyone who's into design and maybe you're not so much into plants, but you want to like utilize them for design, this guy is perfect for design because it looks and feels fake, but it's totally alive. It's very like, you're not going to get leaves everywhere. It's not messy. It just exists and it looks like plastic. And it's
like a sculpture. It's like a living sculpture.
It's an artistic piece and it takes a long time to grow from what I understand. This guy is blowing up, this little baby. I'll see how I feel in the future, but I don't want to like uproot him because he's like growing and living his life. Yeah. So maybe I'll let spring happen, see how big it gets. Because I'm curious because these Sansevierias, there's like a pokey finger that sticks straight up and then the other finger sticks like out to the sides. Yeah. It's very structured, if you will. But the baby is coming in straight up, but I'm starting to see one of the fingers lean and I'm very excited. Cute. I'm excited to see how it splays out in the future.
No, that's interesting that you bring that up because with the cylindrical, there's two varieties, one that kind of fans out just like yours, and then there's another variety that goes straight up.
It goes up, yes, and they get tall.
Yeah, and what I was going to say in regards to like the pup, it reminded me of my spider plant. I had one of those Bonnie spider plants, which is the curly one, and it put out a baby that wasn't curly. So it kind of, you said it didn't look like it was fanning out. I'm like, I wonder if that could happen with snake plants too, but it seems like yours will fan out. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting point to bring up.
Yeah, that's really good. It's really cool you bring that up because now I'm curious, like what will it do? I have no idea because I've only ever seen these like I've seen young ones, but they're always a teensy bit more mature. Like I've seen them like a couple inches tall. And that's why I bought this one because, well, Josh's mom actually bought this for me. We were at Green Things, shout out in Tucson, Arizona. It's an amazing nursery. It's huge. De La Plants has talked about them, I'm pretty sure. It's a great nursery. I paid like it was $15 or $14 for a 6-inch, and they're way more expensive in LA. Yeah,
they get pricey.
They get because I've heard they're slow growers and that's why. But yeah, I found a really big one considering the size, and she got it for me as a gift. And the reason why this plant blows my mind, same with most snake plants, but this one in particular. Again, it was Thanksgiving weekend, so it's November. I think I've watered it twice.
Well, and that variety has very thick leaves, so I can do that for sure. I was like, I would do like the softness trick, like, okay, like are these sticks coming out? Are they soft? Right? Never ever. I one day watered it because I was just nervous. I was like, it's been 4 months and it's not. I don't think it's dead. And then I checked the roots and I finally got to pot it up, and they were white and juicy, and I was like, how? How? Dude, that kind of reminds me, going back to like how snake plants are an art piece, and if you don't want like a messy typical plant, what I love snake plants for is the fact that if you have a statement pot, and sometimes we pair a pot and a plant, and then it starts to grow out and you're like, no, just stay in there a little longer. You look so good. Yes. You pretty much never have to worry about that with snake plants. So like you have yours in a really cute pot.
It's like pot. Shout out.
It's
a geometric one, like a hexagon or something.
And also my Sansevieria Whitney is in this really pretty, like stony, textured pot with the legs that I got from Urban Outfitters. And I was like, snake plant is going in there because I just want to have it. It's on my entryway. I just want to look at it all the time, not have to worry about repotting it. So I just think that's another like pro tip, if you will, for snake plants.
Do you think that I know we talked about it in our growing season episode, how it's a good time to give fresh soil, things like that. Would you say the same rings true for snake plants? Should we still be repotting every 1 to 2 years, 3 years? Like just in terms
Yeah.
of soil?
I definitely think so because sometimes you can see it'll put out little pups and it'll almost sort of hit the walls of the pot.
Mm,
So essentially, what you could do is re-situate it even within the pot.
right.
You can take it apart and then put it back in and sort of like arrange it the way you want it, kind of like a flower bouquet. You can just like arrange it.
Right.
Or honestly, I haven't done it in a long time and I just make sure to like fertilize when I do water. So
Yeah.
to answer the question, yes, I think even with snake plants, giving it fresh soil doesn't hurt.
Right.
But you can get away with a lot with these plants.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, since you mentioned the puppies, it reminds me of when you helped me with my moonshine sansevieria.
Hmm.
And I think just if someone is new to snake plants, it might be a good honorable mention, at least with like the more traditional snake plant, because you don't think of a cylindrica when you think of a snake plant. You think of like the one outside of every bank.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
so it was my first time depotting a snake plant, and you and I saw that because I had like a few different stalks, and
Right.
when you uproot them, it's like there's like a bone, like they're like connected
Yeah.
underneath. So it's like you got one sticking out of the soil, and if you go under the soil, it's like connecting all the way through, like a
Like a
big
right angle.
yeah, like a big branch, if you will, like a right angle, and then it goes up again to the other stalk. And you showed me that you could just chop in the middle of that center
Yeah.
underground branch, if you will. And
Yeah.
that's a way to like propagate or move things around. So I'm curious if it's the same sort of branch business with the puppies.
I believe it is like, you can honestly just like pull it off the side
Right.
and then you can either stick that in water and you'll start to see roots come out,
Yeah.
or you could just go ahead and stick it in the dirt because it is so drought tolerant. It's not going to completely dry out in the process of growing new roots. So there's definitely
Right.
options. And I don't know if you knew this either, but you can propagate sansevierias just from a leaf cutting. And if you stick it in
Yes.
water, it'll grow roots and then you'll see little babies.
Like you can chop like the top off and just put that in water, right?
Yes.
You can do
Yep.
any portion. My mom, when I was in Arizona, I saw she had I don't know if something happened to it, but she had like maybe it was a broken piece. She had cut up like in like 3-inch sections for Sansevieria and just
Yeah.
stuck it all in soil, and some of them have sprouted up
Yep.
other
I've
things.
I've seen that too. So
Yeah,
there's so many options if you want to make it look fuller or if you just want to have more plants.
yeah,
Just see some new growth happening because they can be slow growers.
right.
That's a good tip.
How often do you water your snake plants? Because obviously, with the idea of like we
Yeah.
never water them, so it's
Yeah.
like the
It's
myth, it's
pretty
like it's less than a cactus, I feel
I think
sometimes.
so. I think so. Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not watering it more than like once a week, like you don't want to do that. But to be honest, I water it whenever I remember. I'll be
Same.
like, I think it was spring the last time I watered you, so we'll just water you
I
again.
think it was 2015 the last time I watered you.
Can you imagine? Okay, that is too long. Don't do that.
Well, do you remember so you guys, I bought this moonshine about a year ago, I would say. It was during
Uh-huh.
COVID. No.
It was before COVID because I
It
was
was
still going to your house, helping you repot it and stuff like
right,
that.
it was 2020 because I had so this
Oh,
nursery, Nelson's nursery that I took you to in Tarzana, they are near Woodland Hills and Calabasas, and I had a kid I would take care of out there, and I would pass by the nursery on my way home, and I was like, "I'm gonna stop there one day," and I stopped there, and I found it, and I think I got it on clearance because, like, the pot was broken or something, and it
got
was
it.
kinda beat up, and I took it home because it was moonshines were my dream snake plant. That's the snake plant I wanted,
Yep.
and I remember it wasn't doing we were doing well indoors at
Yeah.
first. We were talking like I had it in a dark corner that got maybe a teeny bit of light, but it was just not adjusting well. And I remember I threw it outside thinking that it was done, and it was like flopped over literally like it would accidentally get stepped on. It was so
Oh
flopped over.
no. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, this thing is dead," but like maybe not. So I just left it alone. We
Yeah.
moved and then COVID hit, all the things happened. I kind of just let it get burnt and live its sad life. And then we get to our new place in Burbank and I put it outside just because I was like, I don't know what to do with you right now. And so I put it in a corner that I didn't realize because we were new here. I didn't
Right.
realize the sprinklers hit it. And there was
Oh.
like a month where it was just getting like, I don't know how often the sprinklers go off, maybe a couple times a week. It was just getting watered, but it was in the shade, but it would get sun at some point. I go
And it was
outside one
outdoors.
day. And I was like, I like jump back. I'm like, what happened? Who put this plant here? And then I realized, oh, that's my moonshine. It's sticking up.
Plant.
It's high in the sky, and it looked gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. I love those moments when you're just like, is that my plant? Yes. From the dead?
And I'm so glad she's forgiven me. I left her outside for a few months. It was
maybe
crazy.
That's what you wanted.
It needed the elements. It needed to be outside, but actually loved. And I guess it needed water is what it was. But because I just kind of let it be sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then so I let it outside for 2 months. And when it was happy, I put it in your jawbreaker pot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And ever since then, it's been inside. And I think it was growing faster outside because it had more sun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's doing its thing, and it's putting out growth. And it's just it
Yay.
really needed a kickstart. So if anybody has a flopping snake plant, just throw it at a sprinkler, see what happens.
That's so true. Yeah. So that also brings us to our next little topic about these drought tolerant plants. And we will move on from snake plants, don't worry. But one thing that you want to keep in mind in regards to okay, we never water it, but if you are having it outdoors, like how yours was outdoors, you probably want to water it a little bit more often, maybe around the once every 2 weeks mark. Right. So if you're going to have a snake plant in a dark corner, which it can survive, it's not going to thrive, but it can survive. Then I would say only water it once a month at the most. And that's just my personal experience. That's what I've done. Maybe it'll be different for you, but yeah.
Tell them what you told me when I was new. You gave me a rule of thumb. Do you remember?
Yes. Now, I stole this from Nick Pileggi, on YouTube. But what he said was if you water, and this is actually a ZZ plant, but it also works for snake plants.
Oh,
if you're watering it more, if you're watering your snake plant or ZZ plant more than you pay your rent, it's too much.
Yes. Which is so funny because any of my friends that reach out to me for help that are more on the beginner level, they'll be like, how often do I water this? And I was like, water it on rent day. Just water it on the first.
Absolutely.
And if you can do that, you'll be fine. It won't
good
die.
Rule for beginners.
Which yes, if you agree, should we move on to ZZs? Speak of the devils.
Yes, let's do it. So the ZZ plant, aka I'm going to do my best summer rain impression, Zamioculcas zamiifolia.
That was very good.
Thank you.
That's where the ZZ comes from.
It is. Now this one, in regards to how they hold water, they do have thick, juicy roots, but what they also have at the base of the stems are these bulbs or tubers, and they look like potatoes. They're just like these bulby potato-looking things, and that is why you can literally go 3 months and not water these. I don't recommend going 3 months, but you can. I'm pretty sure that's what my mom does, and hers are growing, and you can literally. The only way you can really kill a ZZ is by overwatering. They're so resilient. They are so giving.
They're shocking.
And they're good in low light. So that's another great plant. I know some people don't like ZZs because they kind of remind them of mall plants or hotel plants, but I honestly find them to be so pretty.
They're gorgeous.
The first time I really noticed a ZZ plant was actually, if you guys follow the Sorry Girls on YouTube, they do DIY and design and things like that. I remember, I think it was Kelsey when they had their first loft and she was living up in the loft. She had a huge ZZ plant and it was in one of those West Elm footed planters. And I remember I was just like, damn, that is a gorgeous plant. And it is a simple plant that you can find at, garden centers. But I think if you really do give it love and let it get huge, it's stunning,
Amazing. Yeah. If you can give it light, more power to you for sure. I've had really good and fun experiences with water propagating ZZ plants.
Oh, yes. Tell us about yours.
So for those I might have talked about this very early on in the boozy world, but if not, it's probably on my stories. Those of you who know, but I have a very personal and deep relationship with Costco, and every once in a while Costco carries houseplants.
They
And
do.
they were big on carrying not the Raven, but just like regular ZZs. So I always checked like, well, if a Raven snuck its way in or a variegated one,
Right.
you have to tell
Right.
them about your variegated one, how you
I
found
will
it.
after
But
this.
this was pre-COVID. This was, I think, January. My main big one that's in the light bulb.
Yeah.
It's been propagating for a year and a half because I just think it's so beautiful. And now it's stuck in the cup it's in, unless I break the cup and I don't have the heart.
It's grown a potato.
I'm looking at it right now and I'm like convinced it's dead because I'm like, it's just been in the same water for like a month. I forget it's there. Literally forget it's there. But
Right.
Holly just told me, she's like, just throw some Super Thrive and see what happens. But you'll think for maybe like a month, like, okay, it's not turning into rot, it's not mushing, but nothing's happening. Like it must be dead. But it probably took a month to 2 months and I got a little bulb. And then another bulb. And then another bulb popped up. And now the bulb is so fat, I can't get through the cup. Like,
right.
But the neck of the cup. And then roots just started stemming out of the bulbs. And then after that, I found, I think, 2 more ZZ cuttings. Oh, that's what it was, Costco. So I was looking at the ZZs and I found a broken one just on the floor, like a stem. So I put it in my purse and then I started to feel guilty and nervous. So I took it out of my purse and then I asked someone when I was paying, I was like, I found this little plant thing. I don't know what it is. I found this little plant thing like on the floor. And I was just wondering, like, is there any way I could like take this home? I don't know. Just like kind of cute. And then they're like, yeah, just take it home. Whatever. We don't care. It's Costco. I was like, thanks. So then the next 2 times that I found ZZ cuttings at Costco, because they were already broken. Like I didn't break them.
Right.
I just stuck them in my purse. I was like,
You
Jose one day said it was fine. So
exactly. If anyone asked, Jose said it was okay.
They've all rooted. They all have bulbs. And then before you moved, you gave me a ZZ Raven cutting because your guy, he was struggling. So
he was struggling.
He's bulbed up and he bulbed really quickly. Like he bulbed within like less than a month, I would say.
Well, that's really interesting that in your experience, the bulbs come first because
that's a lie. Yours, I think the roots came first, but yes, the other ones was bulbs, I would say.
That's so interesting because in the past I had a very large Raven ZZ that came in with the bulb was mushy, which is very bad. So I ended up cutting it at the stem. And at the time I didn't even know that you could propagate these. I was just like, we'll see. But it did form roots first. And then it took like probably a couple months before I saw any type of bulbage happening.
Interesting. Now I'm paranoid, but I'm pretty sure I got my bulb first, but I'm thinking of like the very first cutting. That was a mature cutting. Like it's a very thick cutting. So maybe that's why it was easy for the bulb. But now that I think about it, the little ZZ Raven you gave me, I think has been roots first. Aww. And now a little bulb is like popping up. And then
so cute.
I guess I have that large Raven because you gave me multiple cuttings of it. I'm doing tests. So you had it in perlite, the big 3 pieces. Yep. I kept them just how you have it in the greenhouse. So they're getting a lot of light. Nice. And then as like a comparison, I have in my bathroom, which isn't as bright, the little one from the same mother plant in water. Nice. And I think both are rooting.
That is so good. I'm so glad you have those. For whatever reason, like it was on the struggle bus right before I moved. So I gave them all to you.
You had them for years.
I know. So strange. But I was like, all right, I've seen them in Florida and I still see them all the time, but I need to actually buy them because I'm taking for granted that I pretty much see a Raven ZZ every time I go, so I need to just get one because I love them. I know.
They are so insane beautiful. My original Raven, because I have one that's potted up, that one's from Florida. I got it shipped.
Oh, yay. Well, if you ever want more, just let me know.
I mean, I might. I would love just a big bushy ZZ Raven. Imagine.
I know. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll buy 2. But the only thing is I don't have a lot of floor space. So that's kind of been my issue. I'm like, okay, where am I going to put these plants?
Right. You have a lot of walls though, right?
I do. I do have to fill the rest of my Wally grows, so that could be an
Throw it
option.
a ZZ.
Just have it stick up. Well, what might be cute is having on one end have the ZZ plant sticking up for some height, and then I can also in the same pot plant in like maybe like a Brazil or something trailing down.
Ooh, that's really cool. I'd
That could be
love
pretty.
that. That's
Yeah,
really
and the color
fun.
contrast.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
do I have time to tell him about my variegated ZZ
You have
story?
plenty of time.
I don't know if I've
Yes.
ever. Thank you. I don't know if I've ever shared this story on the podcast.
I don't think you have.
I know my Instagram followers, and my friends, they've heard about it because I couldn't stop talking about it. But one day I was at the flower market in downtown, and this was like December of 2019.
Yes.
And I remember there was like this corner of it was primarily like an orchid vendor, but they also had giant ZZ plants. So I want to say it was
Big.
probably very big. Would you say it was like a 10 inch?
Gallon?
Yeah, like
Oh, it was a
definitely
gallon.
at least a galleon. Galleon, I
A
can't.
galleon. All right, Game of Thrones.
Galleon. It was a very large pot. Okay, we'll just say that. And it was like 30.
Deep. It was deep.
I think it was like $35 or something like that.
You told me like 35 or 40.
Yes, but I literally saw it from like across the room, and I darted over because there was 2 to 3 large stalks of variegated pieces in it. So I'm like, holy shit, oh my God. So I walk over there and I told Tyson, and at the time we were in our apartment in Eagle Rock, which we had a lot of fucking plants in that place. So we just did not have a lot of room. But I look at Tyson and I go, I need this. He goes, okay, you don't understand. I need to buy this now. He's like, oh, okay.
He's like, but our budget was 10. No.
We don't have room. So what ended up happening was I depotted all the variegated pieces, and then I ended up giving my mom the large, the rest of the green plant, which is such a beautiful plant, by the way. If I had more room, I would totally keep it because it was gorgeous. It was mature, it was giant. But I was a sucker for the variegation. So I had it in a pot, and then one day my cat jumps up in the air. I think he was like chasing a light or something, and he lands on it and like snaps it in half.
Oh,
so I was like really sad about that, but I propagated it. And the interesting part was because when I propagated, it got roots first, and I think maybe tiny little bulbs. So when I put it in soil, I found that I kind of needed to water it a little bit more than like your typical ZZ plant. So yeah, but that is my story of finding. That's my lucky find of a variegated ZZ plant.
It was crazy because I hadn't even really seen or heard of variegated ZZs before you got it. They have like, so their variegation's like yellow. It's not white generally, right?
Yes. And it's really beautiful. It's very mottled. It's noticeable. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Especially the one that I found, like, because sometimes you'll see people, they'll say, "Oh, I found a variegated monstera at Lowe's," but it's like a dusting of white, and you're just like, "Oh, that's cool." But like, no, this was like, boom, in your face, variegated.
Tons of yellow. Well, it was funny because I saw it because of you, and then I was on one of the plant groups on Facebook, and someone was trying to sell a cutting locally, like a teeny tiny cutting for over $100.
Oh, geez.
I think they were just overpricing it, period. But I was just like, that's crazy. It was right when you found yours.
Wow. Yeah, I remember they were very expensive. I believe they are still expensive, even if you can find them. I don't see them all the time, but yeah. So
I've seen them never, ever. Yes. Do you keep an eye out at your local stores that carry ravens just to see like if you'll see a variegated ZZ?
I think I would have to look within the green ZZs and not the ravens.
Right.
But yes, I will always still keep my eye out. Also, that reminded me, talking about all the propagations with ZZs, I totally forgot to mention, did you know that you can root them just by leaves?
Yes, I think I heard about that, but I haven't tried it. Have you tried?
I have tried it. So when I first got my my first Raven ZZ, and it came in rotted, I was like very nervous. Like I said, I didn't know if you could cut just the stem and root that, but I had heard at the time that you can root the leaves. So what I did was I took a couple leaf cuttings plus the cutting itself, and I put them in soil and just kept the soil moist. And within like maybe a month or two, it came with a little bulb at the end of the leaf.
Oh, that's cute.
I know. And then the leaf ended up dying, but then I got roots, so I kind of neglected it. But it is true. You can just stick it in soil. I assume water as well, but I did soil, and it was just really cute. So
is the idea that the leaf will develop a bulb and obviously roots, and then and the idea would be that a new stalk will come out and maybe the leaf will die.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. How cute.
Is that crazy? Like
that's really
plants,
cool.
It kind of reminds you at the end of the day, your plants want to live. They're not trying to die. So you just we're there to aid them, but you know, they're gonna make it.
You gotta try a little, just a little bit, and that'll do wonders for you.
Yes, but if anyone's listening to this and you want to get into plants, and you know you're not an overwaterer, because if you're like me and you have a heavy hand with watering, be careful. But if you're more like my mom and my sister or Angelique, totally get a raven, get a regular ZZ or any kind of snake plant, because they're so good. They're drought tolerant, perfect for low light. And that's why there are bays for this episode.
Yes. And if you can, obviously I was so desperate. Like I really just wanted a raven. So I got it shipped. And obviously there's going to be ship stress, things like that. Right. So I think I was tempted to water. But see, I mean, if anything, like because I repotted it right away with you. I think we just did like a little sprinkle.
Yeah.
I just give it a little oomph and then, just see what happens. I think, I don't know. I've never been able to like touch a raven ZZ or touch a ZZ period and like, you know, it feels soft or limp. I've never seen any of that. So to me, it's really just like, when did I water it last? But with snake plants, you will see a wrinkling or a very like, they're not firm anymore.
Well, yes. And I was going to say with the ZZs, sometimes I do see the stalk wrinkle. But
that's what I wanted to know. Like, what's the sign?
Yeah, but that only happens, like I was saying, with my propagated variegated one, because it's just smaller. But yes, you're right though. With snake plants, it will get kind of flimsy and like
papery.
Kind of tell, yeah.
But with the ZZs, like if you're someone that likes visual cues, you might not get any. Unless it's too late, maybe. I don't know.
When they're very like one of my mom's plants, it will sort of droop, you know, and then it'll
the big ones will droop. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. So yeah, let us know. How do you guys know when to water your snake plants and ZZ plants? Because it is a lot of guessing, I will say.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember.
Assuming they're not going to die. You did have an honorable mention that I don't want to forget about.
Oh, yes.
It was about the golden pothos.
Yes, I did. That's right.
That little rude, choky plant from last episode.
The invasive species.
I am reeling over that.
I know. But you know what? We're going to talk about it because when you, like a lot of people do, get a golden pothos and it's maybe one of your first plants and, you know, you're trying to get your watering down. Dude, they are so forgiving. Like I have had my pothos wilt so bad. And yeah, some of the leaves will turn yellow, but it'll just bounce back. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm. Now, the other cool thing about it, so that's the whole drought tolerant aspect of it, super forgiving. And it's actually really fun to see it go from super wilty and limp to like, boom, hello, just sticking straight up again. But the other cool thing about pothos is like specifically the golden pothos, if you put it in a dark corner, like it probably will lose most of its variegation, but it'll grow. Like when I was in downtown, I had a golden pothos in my dark ass kitchen with no windows. It was like 16 feet away from our one and only window. And it was growing all the time. Yeah. And of course, you know, did not have variegation really. But you know what I mean? Like super awesome.
They'll make it. So I had because you gave me cuttings of yours when we first started becoming friends. And that was my golden pothos. I never bought one.
That's amazing.
I've never bought a pothos, a golden pothos. I bought my neon, of course, and some other ones.
Your marble queen.
Yeah. So but it's always been gifted as cuttings. Like people on Facebook on Marketplace would be like, free cuttings. There's too much. I saw someone hang one on like a tree outside being like, take these cuttings. Like there was just so much.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the one you gave me used to be on my fridge at the old place, got pretty good light. And then here it was in my room, which is not getting great light because I have it on like the side that's not facing the window.
Right.
But I had tons of cuttings that I was propagating for months. And then I decided finally to put them all together because I wanted it to be a more full plant. And I guess I lied. I did buy your pothos for $5. So I bought the mother plant, right? And like reunited it with its children. So I got yours and then the cuttings you'd given me before. And then I had gotten free cuttings on Facebook that I had propagated, put them all together. And now she's super bushy, but she's in a dark corner. And I am hoping the variegation doesn't go away. I want to give it light. So I'm going to work on grow lights, but Holly's totally right. They will be A-okay.
Yes.
It's fine. Yeah. And it's crazy. So this one, I am almost positive the cutting where this happened was from the one I got on Facebook. But, I could see in the stem there was a little bit of white. And you see it in your golden pothos all the time. There'll be tons of green leaves and then like a splash of white once in a while.
Sure. Or yellow or whatever.
Yellow, yes. It threw out like a snow queen leaf.
What?
It's
How cool.
It's mainly white with green spots.
That is insane.
This one. And the stem I looked at the stem, it's highly variegated, but it came from a totally green pothos.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if it was actually a marble queen that had reverted and then somehow it kind of came back.
I would not be surprised if that's what it is because it really definitely looks like a marble queen or like, is Snow Queen the one that's even whiter than marble queen?
So it's weird because the names get thrown around. I think to me, it's always been the same, a marble queen, a snow queen, but essentially what happens, the marble queen will start off looking very white and then kind of turns into more like a dingy yellow. So it's hard to keep that. So I feel like snow queen, it's almost like the mint thing, the mint topic, like a mint monster or whatever. It's kind of a loose term, because a marble queen can be super white. It all just depends on the light you give it.
And my big one, there's a lot of just green, and then you'll get like a little section of that has white, so it's less variegated, I would say. But I just now that it's in the dark, I was like, I don't want to lose this one little white leaf.
Maybe just like chop that one with a node and put it where it's light.
Honestly, I might because it's so cute. But I kind of like seeing it. It's like a little guy reaching for the sun in a sea of green. It's really cute.
It is cute. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think golden pothos. I think pothos in general, but yes, mainly golden pothos definitely deserve honorable mention. Like they do so well in the dark. Again, not that you should have them in the dark.
Right.
Any plant wants light, but you have time to move it around. It's forgiving.
Yeah. And even with neon pothos, I could, because it's not relying on any type of variegation. So you could probably get away with that too. But
that one's in my room too. It's closer to the window, but right now, like we forgot to open the window. It's been dark all day and she seems fine. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Well, this has been so good.
I really like this episode. And guys, I'm sure there's way more than just these two genuses ? Is that the right word? So like if you have any other drought tolerant plants that you guys want us to review or talk about, I'm sure there are tons more. Those are just the ones that you and I seem to have a lot of.
Yes, maybe we'll do like a part 2 sometime.
Yes, that'd be fun. Holly, where can people find you?
So you can find me at Concrete Botanical _ on Instagram, Concrete Botanical just straight up on TikTok, and concretebotanical.com for my shop.
Awesome. And you guys can find me at Sucka for Plantas. You can also catch me at So I Got Fired on Instagram. And for Boozy, we're at Boozy Botanical Podcast. We drop new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And yes, if you guys enjoy what you heard, please leave us a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts because it really helps us on the charts. And we love you so much. So thank you.
Thanks for hanging out and cheers.
Cheers. Have a good one.